Lise Arikas coming back into the front row with young Madhu Soufal earning just her 5th cap in the second row. It's a potent back 5, even without Safi Ndiaye, who's on the bench. Gaël Hermé, the captain, at 7. At half-back, Sansus and Bourdon start at 9 and 10 together for the first time, with what's becoming a familiar backline of Vernier, Boudot and Boujard, with the talismanic Jessie Tremoulière at the back. For England, well, Simon Middleton brings 5 of the replacements from that win in Sandy Park into the starting lineup. The powerful Shauna Brown and Poppy Cleall firm things up in the scrum, with World Cup winner Vicky Fleetwood joining captain Sarah Hunter in the back row. Natasha Hunt pairs with the mercurial Katie Daly-McLean at fly half, while Zoe Harrison offers a second playmaker option next to World Player of the Year Emily Scarratt. Plenty of finishing prowess in England's back 3 as well, of course. They've 37 tries between them in 47 appearances. And the replacements, well, hooker Caroline Thomas is a handy weapon at the breakdown as much as she is at set piece. Nasira Condé, the baby of the French group, at 20. And England perhaps with the edge here. Cornborough, Byrne and Miller-Mills back after 22 months out. Power and skills in plentiful supply. And our referee for this one is Amy Barrett-Theron from South Africa. She's assisted by Joy Neville and Beatrice Benvenuti. France won the toss, but it's going to be England who kick off. The last 3 matches between these sides, 1 last summer and 2 in November, saw them split by just 14 points. Expect no quarter given or asked. 2020 Women's Six Nations is up and running. And it's McLean who's putting some width on it through Cleall, and then Scarratt and Abby Dow. Wasps winger unafraid to take in the contact first of all. Natasha Hunt wants to get in there, and well, referee Amy Barrett-Theron is right on point to give the first penalty of the game to England. And it's a very good afternoon to former England captain Catherine Spencer, who is alongside us. How are you, Catherine?
Afternoon, Nick, and it is a glorious afternoon, isn't it? I nearly brought my flip-flops, it was that close.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, England showing their intent early on, didn't they? Fielded the ball on one touchline. McKenna spread it wide, and it comes right over to this touchline through Abby Dow, and a nice start for England.
It's there with Amy Cockayne. Back in the side following her travails with the RAF and the RAF police. Natasha Hunt, happy to crack the whip at the back of that maul. She looks like she's going in there to try and have a little dig for it, but she's not being invited in too far because Sarah Beckett's still got her hands on it at the back, I think. Well, it's Cockayne who has it under the left-hand mitt. And Hunt is given one call to use it. French defending it relatively well. Now Hunt trying to get through the gap, now finding Emily Scarratt, who will straighten in the shadow of the French posts inside the first couple of minutes here for England. Katie Daly-McLean, Sarah McKenna using the footwork to cut back. 7 Specialists has got enough of that. And it's Zoe Allcroft, underrated player at Gloucester Hartpury. Does a lot of stuff very well. Simon Middleton recognising that. No Abby Scott, of course. Sarah Hunter, 5-metre line now. Hunt. McKenna joins the line, tipped on by Scarratt, but wouldn't quite find the hands of Abby Dow. And, well, the home supporters appreciating the defensive effort. It had gone forward in the process.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. It was good defensive effort. See, familiar sight of Emily Scarratt running through any defences. But I'm not surprised England used that maul early on, draw in this French pack, you know, the danger of the French back row, and then release the backs. Lovely pass out there, and Emily Scarratt tried to flick the ball on, didn't she? Just went too far from Abby Dow.
Conditions in November when England played Italy in the last of their November internationals weren't great. There was plenty of up the jumper stuff then. It's an element of the game that England will use when they want to. But with conditions like this, we're hoping that backline are going to see a fair bit of ball as well.
Hang on, guys. Hang on.
I'm a fan of them all in every condition.
I sensed you might not be as keen to see the backline flourish, even in the sunshine.
Stay strong, hold your ground.
Once a number 8, always a number 8.
sure you go in. Yeah.
Romain Ménager, last one to just get bound on at the back. Laure Sansus, earning her 13th cap, the Toulouse scrum half. Was involved in those matches in November. They played home and away, France and England, but England got the better of France on those occasions. That's a lovely line from Gabby Vernier. See plenty of that from her over the course of the 80. Tremoulière, former World Player of the Year. That's a really solid touch clearance.
That was a really good exit, wasn't it, by France? Really good, strong scrum, powerful there. Lovely short line from Vernier and given a really good platform for Tremoulière to get the ball away from that area of the pitch, something that France no doubt have looked at a lot since that second test in the autumn.
Cockayne came back from a hamstring injury in November. Straight down to Natasha Hunt, and then Scarrett will play more of a 12 role in this particular carry in punching it up. Dow is across from the right wing, but she's met with a double tackle, but she manages to evade both Boudot and Boujard, and then make some decent yards in reply. One of the French players is just down in midfield currently, and England get a little too close to the little bit of attention.
Sorry guys, we can't play too close here.
So it's Gabrielle Vernier,
Your ball, yeah.
who has just taken a bit of a knock. But Abby Dow will be pretty pleased at having managed to get away from that double tackle.
Yeah, she kept going really well, didn't she? She kept her strength, the French defence pushing up there, and Emily Scarrett finally tackled. But I'm not surprised that she's running at Vernier actually and coming in a bit tighter. Vernier is quite a small centre, and Scarrett can use her physicality that well there. And Vernier obviously just took a knock in that tackle. And Abby Dow, look at that strength, keeps really low, nice low centre of gravity, just keeps fighting all the way, doesn't succumb to the tackle.
It must be scrum, attack ball. Yeah.
Well, Vernier will leave us, I suspect, to just have a check over. We'll get confirmation of that in due course. Just a bit of confusion, I think, getting Condé onto the pitch. I think it's only a third cap, isn't it? So be interesting to see how she goes, thrown into the mix of this cauldron earlier than probably she expected. Yes, absolutely. The Issy Bobigny player.
Crouch! Bind!
It was actually after the tackle that Emily Scarrett was involved in that she was the one to call the medics on. So good sportsmanship from the England vice-captain, taking care of her almost opposite number. Now Natasha Hunt looking to straighten and then provide the 2-on-1, and Abby Dow will pin her ears back and head for that corner. It's a good tackle from Sansus, but England still have it. Dow able to avoid the whitewash. Little tip on from Fleetwood. England going close now with Allcroft. Hunt, she'd lifted the ball, or had she? No, referee says it will be a penalty.
Never onside. Never onside.
France never onside, as you can hear.
See what decision Hunter makes here. And France are having to be aggressive, haven't they? Having to really work hard in defence. We haven't been out of that 22 very much so far in this game. Lovely break from Natasha Hunt, and Abby Dow showing her pace. And what a tackle from Sansus. So try-saving tackle that, wasn't that?
Yeah.
Really good cover from the scrum half.
In terms of the 9-10 combination under Annick Hérault, as we can see her in the stands there, well, you have to go back 10 games until there was a consistency in her selection. Bourdon, of course, more familiar to most of us in the 9 shirt, but she has been playing 10 on a few occasions. This is her 5th time in that role. Sansus was at scrum half, putting in a decent showing in the autumn, but this is England doing what they do best, the pick-and-go tactic. It's Hunter. Bottoman now provides the security. Hunt goes for Cleal. France do a really good job through Audrey Fulani to drive that back. Allcroft with the right arm on it. Sarah Hunter gets in the sidecar, wants to try and drive them a little bit closer. 3 meters now. England go again, base of the posts. Might come into play, but Hunt, little short ball again. France equal to it defensively that time. Now Allcroft. Hunt's trying to provide a bit of space. France have come all the way running round under the post here, and if England could spread this to the left, they have got numbers. France sensed an opportunity immediately under the posts. Bottoman is not taking kindly to being held into that. Hunt goes herself. Not quite able to make it. And held up is the call.
Really good defence again, wasn't it, from France, but the referee just going to have a little chat at the moment. Hannah Bottoman in the mix there.
I can understand the situation. No, I can understand the situation. There was potentially some bit earlier, but it's unnecessary to retaliate. Guys are better than this. They step up the discipline in this area. The TMO is going to sweep everything. He's going to check if there's a grounding. So we're okay. The TMO is going to sweep and you'll check if there's a grounding. My call is...
So Sarah Hunter just checking that there's nothing else happening regarding a score, but also a word with Hannah Bottoman for having retaliated. She was being held in, obviously, and the home fans have taken umbrage to her means of retracting herself, should we say?
That's right, but you know it's quite a big thing in rugby, isn't it? We don't retaliate. You know, it's not a done thing, shall we say, Nick? And I actually think that was quite good refereeing. Then have a chat, make sure things don't bubble up too much. But Hannah Bottoman, she's a really exciting player, isn't she? And very kind of, she puts her emotion and her passion into the game, and that's what makes her, you know, so good in a way. She's just got to keep a lid on that slightly, fuel it in the correct manner.
Yeah, continuing in that starting role as well, where she had covered Vicky Cornborough in the autumn. Cornborough, who is now back and on the bench, but Bottoman here to earn her 18th cap. The referee is Simon McDowell. He's had a little review, nothing to report. So England will have this 5-metre scrum.
Hold your body weight.
Sarah McKenna has joined the line over on the right-hand side, just inside Abby Dow, outside your picture. It's just Jess Breach over on the far side. What will England do here? Hunt for Daly McLean. Little switch back inside for Emily Scarrett. Nearly looked like it was going to work first phase, but now it's Harrison, now it's McKenna, and away for Abby Dow, and England have their first score.
Yeah, good score. I mean, the French defence had been really tight, hadn't it? But it was going to happen at some point. The scrum looked a little bit creaky initially, actually, from England, but they got the ball out. All importantly, and you're right, Nick, it was McKenna that came in and created that extra player, and a little bit of an easier run-in for Abby Dow on the end there. France just ran out of defenders, didn't they?
Well, it was good work from England to make sure they straighten. Simple rugby when you straighten and give, isn't it? Sarah McKenna was in the right position to isolate that last defender, and that time it was a shorter run-in for Abby Dow. And she scores her 11th try for England. She's actually not one of the contracted players for England, but they've certainly been calling on her services regularly enough.
Absolutely. I know Giselle May, the director of rugby at Wasps, is really impressed with Abby, and speaking to the other day, really holds her in high regard. I'm sure she'll talk about her today, and she'll be pleased. Giselle will be pleased, Abby Dow will be pleased to get on the score sheet so early.
You know that phrase, respect the kicker? Well, welcome to France. Emily Scarrett just slides it past the left-hand upright. Not able to add the extras, but England will be pleased. They've spent much of that opening, nearly 10 minutes in the French half. The initial switch from Daly McLean, quickly away. And Dow in at the corner. Dremoulière is over the ball then, ready to get France restarted. They will relish a chance to put the pressure on right into the sunshine. Well taken by the England skipper, Sarah Hunter. Builds up that head of steam. 120 caps for England. She reaches this afternoon. Harrison, looking to just prod it to that far side. Needs the bounce for it to scamper into touch. France take the quick one. That's nicely done from Tremoulière. Good thinking to Ménager. But I think it has just gone out on the far side, or it was a forward pass.
It's a shame, and that, I mean, I think that's what France are going to do. They want to try and get into the game, work into the game, pick up this tempo, quick line-outs. I wasn't completely surprised to see that from France. It was lovely, wasn't it? Timing between Tremoulière and Ménager coming through at pace. I think was it the offload that just went forward at the end there.
You have to give credit to Shauna Brown there for the hit. Made the offload pretty difficult to get right.
Absolutely.
Shauna Brown given the opportunity to start ahead of Sarah Byrne. It's her third start for England.
Yeah, she's worked really, really hard, hasn't she, Shauna Brown? She's been building her trade in the front row. She started off as a back row player and a pretty formidable back row player as that, but here she is converted into a front row player, and there's been a lot of chat about Sarah Byrne on the bench, but that's we don't want to take away from Brown getting her start today in France.
Had the opportunity to speak to Shauna Brown in November, asking her about that transition to the front row. She says, I get as low as possible and I push as hard as I can.
Refreshing chat from a front row forward, nice and concise.
So much for the intricacies of the front row. Hunt gets ready to put this one in. And 50 caps herself in the autumn. Katie Daly-McLean, one of the game's best players, and look at that, breaking way through. Scarrett, held in the tackle, was thinking about bowling away the one-handed offload, but sensibly holds on to it. And then it's Beckett. Not the best supply. Harrison decides to go for the miss pass, finds Dow. The crowd wonder if it was anything more than just flat, but we do play on. And France get it back from Banet. Boujard under plenty of pressure from the chasing English backline. Hermé will play scrum half. Now gets in to try and secure it. France under a ton of pressure here. They would have expected to have a little bit more of things their own way. Simon Middleton's charges will be pleased.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Tremoulière looking for the touchline. That is right on the coin where she kicked it just a few moments ago. Brilliant from the French fullback.
Yeah, another really good kick from Tremoulière. I think they might have been hoping that they were having a scrum down similar to that position, and I think it was a forward pass. The crowd called it as well, but that's rugby. We carry on, play to the whistle, and then another great kick from Tremoulière.
Say that again.
Such a steady but also an exciting player from fullback.
Well, we're being treated to the two world players of the year of the last couple of years on the pitch, because Emily Scarrett was missing from the occasion in Grenoble. And we had no Tremoulière in 2019, so they are back to do battle in the Six Nations. McKenna, little stutter into contact. Hunt has Hunter. 9 to 8 spine, but then Bottoman on the shoulder, and she's on the charge. Sansus ready to go in and make the tackle, but now Daly-McLean. Oh, little right-handed offload, tried to find Vicky Fleetwood. Two former Rugby World Cup winners trying to link up there. Didn't quite work for Fleetwood, but Daly-McLean is really keeping that French backline thinking whether she's going to carry, whether she's going to pass.
She's looking so sharp, Daly-McLean. She had 4 defenders that she drew in there, and that's where you see Bottoman as well running in midfield, and just a few phases before that, Shauna Brown was also running through in midfield. England using their forwards well, and the French backs having to work very, very hard against these bigger players at the moment.
Well, you sense with the power of the likes of Bottoman and Brown, to then have someone like Sarah Byrne to bring on off the bench second half, who we know is a rampaging mobile prop. You can see the thinking, let's just say. This has gone down, but referee says that we've got to use it, and Romane Ménager, well, she's lost it forward, and it's straight into England's hands. Scarrett has breach outside her, makes the carry again, Scarrett. It's all a little bit loose, but there's a new advantage on the knock-on as we hear. Scarrett needs to get that ball away. Hermé proving to be a nuisance as much as she can. Sarah Hunter with the carry, accompanied by Poppy Cleal. Loughborough and Saracens players combining. Daly McLean back inside for Scarrett. England perhaps a little guilty of overusing Emily Scarrett a couple of times. Shauna Brown coming around the corner. Hunt has a look. Bottoman, England a little bit flat-footed here. Need to try and get a little bit more momentum on it. It's not the quickest service. Daly McLean, Cleal had to take that one out in front of her. Oh, and then Cyrielle Banet got in the way of the pass. But she actually put her hands to her head for a moment. She could be lucky that there's not more than a penalty here.
Yeah, you're right, Nick.
Yeah.
She can have another look.
But I'm happy it was deliberate. Is it more than a penalty?
Oh, here we go. We can hear the referee now asking. Let's have a look. This was the attempted pass. Stuck the hand out. Don't quite see the immediate... There you go. There's almost an instant apology or awareness. That was just miscommunication, wasn't it? Couldn't really work from Ménager to Boudot.
Boudot just come in too quickly, too enthusiastically there. Didn't quite get the timing right at the back of the scrum. So they're just going to have a look again, are they? Is it going to be elevated from a penalty to a yellow card?
Referee Amy Barrett-Thoron is just with Beatrice Benvenuti down on the near side. Conversation seems to go along the lines of, is the arm out to make the tackle or is the arm out to stop the ball? Hearing down on the touchline that France may be able to welcome back Gabby Vernier. Passing her HIA. There's Jessica Breach. Talked about 37 tries in 47 appearances in England's back three. Well, you have to credit 20 of those to Jess Breach. 20 tries in 10 internationals, quite the record.
It's pretty good, isn't it? And 11 in her first two, I think it was, Nick. So it looks like it remains just a penalty, doesn't it? And Daly McLean going to the corner again.
Well, here comes Gabrielle Vernier. And we will see the reverse. Nasira Condé already added to those two caps, getting cap number 3. I suspect we may see her a little bit later as well, but deputising well in the French midfield. But now France have more defending to do. Simon Middleton feeling that England over the last couple of years had gone away from the success of a catch and drive and what their maul can be. We've certainly seen more of it in the last few months. France have defended it by bringing it to ground, but illegally so. So the back line will have to play. Katie Daly McLean with a crossfield kick. It's quite deep. Breach with work to do. It's loose from the French. And in fact, Jessie Tremoulière has just knocked that into touch. It's technically is a penalty, but we have an earlier one to come back for. Saw plenty of this being practiced at the Lensbury over the course of the week, the crossfield kick, but Katie Daly McLean perhaps putting a little too much on that one.
Just a bit too much, wasn't it? There's so much pressure from England, whether it's through the maul, from the line out, and, you know, France forced to illegally bring it to ground, but whether it's Emily Scarrett going through the middle, whether it's Bottoman, Shauna Brown, whether it's crossfield pitches, France at the moment don't know really how to defend this team.
England will go again. It's to Hunter. Oh, and it's got going pretty quickly here. It looks like there's only going to be one answer to it. It's the try for England, and I think it's Amy Cockayne. I think it's Vicky Fleetwood, is it? Who's come up with the ball? Either way, it's England's second. Sarah Hunter bringing it down. Front row able to provide the power. And France with no answer.
No, not at all. And it was a really good maul this. And what's so good about it, actually, there was no stoppage. As soon as the ball came to ground, they were going forward, and it just didn't give France any chance to get defence behind that maul at all. And it looks like Fleetwood gets her name on the try-scoring sheet. She'll be pleased about that, especially after that little knock-on earlier in the pitch.
Well,
but yeah, great maul from England.
You could see Amy Cockayne getting ready to engage at the back and get her hands on the ball, but by the time she got there, Vicky Fleetwood was over the line. Similar position then for Emily Scarrett. A little bit further in. strokes it beautifully.
Here we see it again, just straight into the, we talk about tempo in the game out wide, but we can have that, in close quarters as well, and they were just so quick to get that ball going forward. Such a difficult thing to defend.
France 0, England 12 after the first quarter of the match. Just the start the Red Roses will have wanted. Putting the pressure on, and also knowing that, well, many a French side can implode if you can get into them early doors. Katie Daly-McLean, McKenna. French just can't get their hands on the ball. Hell of a hit from Madou Fall, though. Hunter, Allcroft, combining with her clubmate. Hunt again, back for McKenna. Tunnels her way through the first couple of tackles. Allcroft comes onto the right side, but now Harrison steps in as first receiver. Offload is brilliant for Sarah Beckett, who's still going then, back in field. Tried to find Zoe Harrison once more, but just went to ground. Joy Neville on the far side helping give the forward pass.
Ball went forward, wasn't it? It's a shame. So it's lovely pace onto the ball by Beckett. Straight through the middle. There's so many ball carriers, isn't there, in this England team? Just couldn't get the offload away at the end. And great tackle from Fall then. We haven't seen so much of her on the international stage yet, but it's really exciting to see a really very athletic, tall player. Physical as well, by the looks.
Simon Middleton making a couple of notes. Scott Beeman, part of the coaching staff as well, and Richard Blaze.
France really need to use this platform. It's got a slight air of Six Nations last year in this game, where England really, really dominated the first half. French did not really turn up, made a lot of errors, and they need to really, really turn things around quickly now, get their heads into the game, try and get themselves down into the England's half, see what they can do from this scrum platform.
Just noticed at the very top right of your picture, 27 degrees it's saying on that board up there. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Good job we're in the shade then, isn't it, Nicola? It'll be just too hot.
Amazing conditions for the first weekend in February. The Women's Six Nations underway here in Pope. Great to have your company.
Don't think it'll be 27 degrees in Glasgow next week.
Certainly won't. Sansus, Tremoulière, little grubber for Boujard to chase. Oh, and it just bubbles up over McKenna. Boujard, was it off her that it went into touch? No, it was in touch already, so it will be the French line-out.
The joy of the oval-shaped ball, isn't it? It plays so many tricks sometimes, and this full-back have to deal with so many tricky things there. Tremoulière showing her repertoire of kicking. McKenna just couldn't get hold of it, could they? And again, France now getting up in a really good attacking position. What can they do with this line-out?
Sochat. France wanting to show us what they can do from the rolling ball internationally in the men's and women's games. It's so difficult to defend. Then the carry from Da'ai. Rouen Prop, who was switched to the other side of the scrum, having been playing on the loose head through the autumn. Fall is there as an option. Joining her is Fulani, but we're going with Gaël Hermé, the skipper popping it up for Sansus, and the French creating something from nothing. How about that?
What a response from France. You could just feel the energy of this crowd. I think actually all the hairs on the back of my arm have gone up. It's just quite an incredible atmosphere at the moment, and the French team seems to be lifting from that. And great picks through the middle. There's always quite often a gap there. It's not defended behind the breakdown. Great break from Hermé, and Sansus right on her shoulder. Ever elusive. That was brilliant by France.
Have to hand it to the skipper. One of those who started in Grenoble a couple of years ago. And the Toulouse flanker sensed that England hadn't guarded that ruck properly. Straight through the middle. Scrum half on the shoulder. And France hit back.
Really good. Just the confidence to look up and just go for it, you know. Skipper's job then, lifting her team, taking them forward.
Sat near someone else who used to do that.
So is that Maggie? Oh, no, she wasn't captain. I'll take that one. Thanks, Nick.
Tremoulier adds the extras. France 7, England 12. It's a lovely score. Katie Daly-McLean, she's looking to hang that one a little shorter and get Emily Scarrett after that, and it has forced the error from Céline Ferrer.
So often that happens, doesn't it? You get into the game, you score a try, and then the error comes, doesn't it, from kickoff.
See if we can move it a little bit. I don't know if it's
England,
much better, though.
Daly-McLean went deep on their kick previously to that, just mixing it up.
Yeah, plenty of coaches talking about trying to avoid a team getting a positive on a positive, and England, having conceded the score to France, managed to force an error. Don't allow them to take the kick receipt from the restart cleanly.
Interesting lineup from England backs there. You can see McKenna just directly behind Daly-McLean. Abby Dow's pushed over as well, just behind Harrison. Question marks in the French backline defence at the moment.
Plenty of movement in that scrum. Natasha Hunt unable to get the ball in, and so she will take the free kick that England have straight through Daly-McLean and Harrison and Scarrett onto Jess Breach. Give it a chance to show what she might do. Not a lot of room, and the drifting French defence able to shut her down quickly. McKenna gets into play, scrum half. Then it's Beckett. Oh, she's in open water. But the referee is going to bring it back, saying that she was in the way herself in denying the tackle being made. Let's just have another quick look. Agathe Socha, wow, making the hit on Lisbeth Theron.
I wonder if she would have, I'm sure Beckett would think that she would have got through anyway. And that opportunity, a lovely flat pass, wasn't it, from Daly-McLean? A kind of trademark pass, and Beckett timing her run superbly well again.
Stade d'Amour here in Pau. You can look out the back window of our stand and see the Pyrenees in the background. We're not far from Spain here. And the crowd in full voice. 18,000 the capacity. We know they had over 14,000 sold ahead of this one. And, well, with conditions like this, I dare say a few more have crept in to enjoy this. It's a good shove from the French 8, but England are able to get it away. And again, they combine in the middle to send Scarrett away. Really good recovery from Vernier to get her, but Hunt gives them quick service. Away again for Dow. Steps away from the right-hand touchline. Breach has come across from the left wing. Strong work from Cyrielle Banet to rip the ball away. But England again just showing how they can open up that midfield.
Absolutely, using the short line from Scarrett again. Vernier just managing to hold on to her coattails, wasn't she? Shirt tails, I should say. Crowds getting noisier and noisier, trying to lift their team again, aren't they, here? Mexican wave going around the stadium.
Positive festival of Women's Six Nations rugby, and France take the line out well. Down from Gaëlle Hermé, and there's a penalty advantage being played to France as well. contact in the air.
So when you came in, you bound onto and you came right in from the side.
No, in fact, it was coming in from the side is the explanation there
the
to Sarah Hunter. Need to come in from behind the ball.
Yeah, she bound to the side before she bound, as you said, Nick, behind the ball. Well spotted by the referee. Gives France a chance to get back out of their 22.
Interesting, the kicking duties given to Caroline Boujard there. She's put in exactly the sort of kick that Jess Tremoulière had done previously. Well, the benefit of this clearance under the penalty, of course, is that France will have the throw-in. First half flying by. We've had half an hour. France 7, England 12. Sochat. Hermé Ménager brings it down. Oh, it's a lovely line from Vernier once again, but I think we might have it coming back for a forward pass. Crowd won't like it. It was very tight.
Such a shame there.
Oh.
Difficult to tell on the camera angle, isn't it? We have to say the referee's right. It was such a lovely line again, wasn't it, from Vernier? She's having a good game so far. Defence, she's having to work hard, but lovely break and attack there. Just feel this game is building now, isn't it? It's getting quite spicy.
When the rugby looks that good on a line from someone like Gabby Vernier and the pass is that close, there's a bit of you that wants it to go on, isn't there?
Absolutely.
But certainly England will want all the calls to be as spot on, and good work from the officials team. Natasha Hunt seems to have taken a bit of a blow to the face, blow to the nose.
So the scrums are tough. So
getting some ice on the back of the neck as well.
You guys have a nice solid hit, but then going forward to
Experienced, savvy operator Natasha Hunt. Plenty of game understanding. Another one of those, of course, who was a Rugby World Cup winner in 2014.
She's such a great talent, and it's a lovely battle, isn't it, between her and Leanne Riley at the moment. Riley started both of the autumn internationals against France. Both really exciting, lively players.
So for me, the scrums, when they set, they're going maybe one.
Middleton will have mixed emotions at the moment. I think it was a really good start from England, but then letting France get back into the game.
Hold, hold on the set until the ball goes in and then push.
Okay, because I think they push it before a little your...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
I've told them.
We are no go back for us.
Yes. Yeah, make sure you stay in the contest.
Okay.
And I will get in. Shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Riley just getting a little bit warm in case she needs to go off. Lovely breakthrough.
It was 2 years ago, of course, that France last achieved victory over England. France with 8 starters in their starting 15 from that day. England with 5, likes of Cockayne, Cleo Hunter, Katie Daly-McLean and Abby Dow. Of course, the more recent battle was those couple of games in the autumn. England managing to, well, steal victory at the death, really, in that game at Sandy Park. France making the error with the clearance. Natasha Hunt and Emily Scarrett combining to send England away and in for a very late score. But that is the scenery that we have around us here. A little glimpse of the Pyrenees. It's going to take more than a bloodied nose to take Natasha Hunt off the field.
Will do. She's tough. She's a tough one.
Amelia Harper, one of those on England's bench, just saw coming past the camera, waiting to get her first cap. One of 2 uncapped players in Simon Middleton's Six Nations squad, including Morwenna Tolling. Both Loughborough Lightning players.
What a club to learn your trade at the moment. You know, Sarah Hunter, Daly McLean, Emily Scarrett. Fantastic to play alongside these players.
Yeah, pretty good, eh?
5, 6.
Hunt. Look at that shove from the French pack. They are getting up for this, and the reaction tells a story as well. They get the penalty on the England scrum, and that will just raise a few questions now for England.
It really will. The scrum, you know, we've seen the signs that has been creaking. They managed to get the ball out, but that's you have to say, a well-deserved penalty for France.
Alain Lebleu rings around the Stade du Hameau. Boujard will look for as many yards on this as possible. As I say that, she plays safe.
That's the commentator's curse, I think. Nick Heath, classic case of, yeah, England really shoved back, and impossible job for Hunter to get the ball out from the base of the scrum there.
England with plenty of dominance in the French half over the course of 32.5 minutes, managing to take 2 tries for their troubles, but France hitting back with that try from Sansus created by Hermé. And now, as the volume goes up and France start to enjoy themselves at scrum time, Les Bleus are beginning to increase in confidence. Camille Boudot with the carry. Sansus wants to go down the short side again through Fall. Tremoulière is in there, but service is not required. Little dummy away from Ferrer. See her playing in the second row, the Toulouse player formerly of Bayonne, then Bourdon getting it away. Vernier. Sarah Hunter going in to try and effect the turnover. Ball is a little bit loose. There's an awful lot going on there, but France have somehow managed to hold on to it. Bourdon will temporarily slip into her old position of 9. Tremoulière under pressure from Allcroft. Good speed and tackle from the Gloucester Hartpury second row. Bourdon again. I think Sansus is, well, she's back now in the scrum half role. We've now got a bit more attention in the midfield. A knock-on in the tackle is the call. Romain Ménager to try and tidy things up. Hermé is well held around the ankles from Sarah Beckett, but we're going to go back. There was an offside penalty. And is that Vernier down again?
I think it's Vernier.
And you can see she just had a thump of the floor, having gone off with an HIA.
So it's not going to tackle, but then 3 white is offside.
She seems in a little bit of discomfort, and they might be removing the boot here, which might not be a good sign. She is one of those bright lights in the French midfield. Would be such a shame for the contest to see her have to leave.
Yeah, it really would. Just had a really strong 30 minutes. Hermé and Ménager working really hard too. You can just see here, tackle comes in from Allcroft.
So there was a knock-on offside, but okay.
Yeah, I think there was just
shame.
a fair amount of weight through the ankle as she turned with the weight of Allcroft on top of her. And that is an unfortunate sight. We hope for the sake of Gabby Vernier that it's a strain more than anything else. It'd be great to see her back for the rest of the championship, but we will see Nazira Condé back onto the field.
Yeah, it's never a sight you want to see, is it? But an opportunity for Condé. Short glimpses of her physicality when she came onto the pitch a little bit earlier. She put some big tackles in during that time. And actually, you know, the French 9, 10, 12, pretty small, brings some physicality out into that midfield for France.
Well, she's got 45 minutes to show us what she's made of, Nazira Condé. Played a bit of tennis, enjoyed a bit of dance before she got into rugby. She's a former under-18s European Sevens champion as well, so not shy of ability. Tremoulière then from the penalty to keep that scoreboard ticking over. They like it, and with good reason. The flags go up. France narrow the deficit to 2 points.
France have done well, haven't they, to get back into this game. England looks so powerful, so strong in that first 15, 20 minutes. France have managed to raise their energy, feed off this crowd, back into a 2-point game.
Daly McLean, little mid-range one. Boujard comes forward with it in the 22, puts the right boot through. Safety first, decent exit.
It was. Just looking at Boujard after that kick, and I think she would have wanted to kick a bit further. But as you say, safety first. It's into touch, and now see if they can pressure that England line out.
Guys, this is the middle. This is the middle. Can you open for me, please? Sorry. Middle.
Cockayne, Aldcroft. Down into the hands of Fleetwood, who will then break through Cockayne once more, and then Shauna Brown just over the 10-metre line into French territory. France look like they might have counter-rucked this. That is brilliant from the home side.
They did, and see Brown was trying to turn on the ground, trying to roll over the ball, and she couldn't quite get as far as she wanted to. And she met left on the back on the ground, and she's trying to turn, trying to get there. Forced to hold on to the ball, really, and gives the penalty away.
Boujard almost stands with her back to the other end of the field as she pumps another one into the far stand. And again, the volume will start to rise.
You can feel it building again, can't you?
They know how to do it over here. Such a great occasion. Such a privilege to be part of. Agathe Sochat. They use Hermé so often in the line, and they bring it down once more through the skipper. Shauna Brown has stayed bound on from where she was initially, so she's allowed to be there as it turns. France will have to use it. Where's the ball? Not sure anyone knows. France being told to use it, and if they can't find a way of getting it back here, in fact, England may well have it here. It has come back for Natasha Hunt, who will box kick away. Nobody initially back there. Laure Sansus. Oh, that is brilliantly taken out of the air on the fingertips. And then the late pump for Tremoulière. Tremoulière looking to put boot to ball. Skips back behind McKenna, who just come forwards a little, and she loses it. Condé with boot to ball. Natasha Hunt under pressure. Stade Douarnenez becoming a 16 player for the French. No scrum half, so Bottoman will have to play it away. Huge test of England under pressure, this. Katie Daly-McLean, right-footed. Tremoulière, will she think about the quick one? Thinks better of it.
Yeah, wise from Tremoulière to hold off the quick line out. I just wonder, if we could have kept it in hand there with the three French players there, and then a bit of space. Kind of go from 100% your ball to 50%, and it was England that came back out with possession.
Time off.
Yeah, could have been a chance to see Nasira Condé running at Abby Dow,
yeah,
with a player on the outside. England now just needing a couple of running repairs. Amy Cockayne and Sarah Hunter.
It's 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. If you can do it, big fix the ball.
Yeah, it's an energy-sapping game, isn't it? Absolutely, the sort of game that I would have called a little cool. Someone go down, contact lens. We need to play. I think they're a bit more professional than that now.
You can count 5. Let's go. Guys, you have time. 5. It's 5.
Going deep to the back, England nearly able to spoil it, but Hermé gets her hands on it, then Bourdon. Boudot, Tremoulière looking for the support back inside. Boudot arrives again for it. Sansus looking at the short side options. Condé wasn't able to get much go forward, so just needed to ride the tackle of Vicky Fleetwood, which she did. Bourdon, then Ménager, solid tackle from Shauna Brown. Sansus, then they might have a bit of numbers around the edges here. Ball is flown away to Forlani. Condé straightens and goes back into the action. Hunter and Hunt trying to combine and hold things up, but Sansus gets it. Bourdon had to take it high. Then little shorter ball, that's brilliant from Fall. arriving at just the right moment. Sansus, France could have numbers on the left here if they can work it. Ménager into the 22 now. Bourdon notices if her scrum half's not there, she can get straight in and do the job herself. Sansus, Bourdon is waiting for it. Scrum half goes herself. Initial half break. Thinks better of the first offload, then gets it away. Bourdon to Tremoulière, who is dumped on her backside by Abidal. Harry Cast offering herself for a shorter run here. France looking to try and get themselves ahead on the scoreboard before the half-time whistle. Sochat. Little pop away for Banet. Sansus has a look, both sides. Forlani invited forwards, but had to stop momentarily to receive the ball. Then it's lost. Referee says play on. There's a real contest for the ball in there. And it's going to be a penalty to England. They've ridden the storm.
Wow, what a way to finish off this half. Well, it's not quite finished yet, Nick. France looking to keep that ball alive at every opportunity. Going for the offline. Look at that tackle. Really driven well back in that tackle. Fantastic from Abidal.
Well, Katie Daly-McLean taps it and clears it into touch to round off a first half that has been truly engrossing. England, with all the pressure in the opening quarter, 2 tries from Dow and Fleetwood, responded to by Sansus and the boot of Tremoulière. It is perfectly poised. In the Stade du Hameau at half-time, it's France 10, England 12. France trailing by 2 then at the start of the second 40. And England have made a couple of changes by the looks of things. We will get on top of those. I think, Cass Spencer, you spotted that Sarah Byrne is onto the field for England.
Yeah, Sarah Byrne is on, so Shauna Brown takes her place on the bench. Bottomans still on the pitch at the moment. French have stayed with their front row by the looks, and so they should have done after those powerful scrums earlier.
Yeah, so just the one change then for England. France will be looking to maintain the momentum that they had towards the end of that first half. They almost wouldn't have wanted that half-time whistle to come. Boujard from Sansus. Sansus back in field to Forlani and then Elmé. No one riding the contact at this time. Then Fall out for Condé. Oh, little pump and dummy from Condé. Could nearly have found Tremoulière if she'd have looked for that pass a second time, but now Bourdon. Break from Ménager. Roman this time, of course, twin sister Marine is on the bench. Bourdon. Little short pass for Harry Cast, who was well met, but then Sansus. The old adage, keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah, what a shame. Just looked up a little bit too quickly, didn't she? Some momentum building again from France. Another good tackle in from Zoe Oldcroft. She's been working hard, hasn't she?
Certainly has. Of course, no Kath O'Donnell in England's second row, out with a knee injury on her way back, but Zoe Oldcroft, perhaps more of a sort of athletic build than Kath O'Donnell. And Simon Middleton talking during the week about how much she has matured as a leader in the group, continuing her club form into country. Natasha Hunt's been given a new jersey, by the way, as you can see. So anxious moments this for England. Just towards the end of that first half, we started to see real dominance at the scrum from France, and they will be keen to get this shove on as soon as they can. I don't know whether the addition of Sarah Byrne will make much of a difference. Shauna Brown not one to have given an inch, you would expect. So it will be a question of whether Natasha Hunt needs to just whip this away as quickly as possible.
Stay here.
Hold steady for now. England with more time on it. Hunter gets it away. Harrison. McKenna in the line again. Scarrett just prods it through for Breach to chase. Boujard has a little look over the left shoulder as she goes down to take it. Well dealt with by the French right winger Sansus. Then plays it away for Elmé. Always keen to ask questions down the short side. Sansus then with a box kick. Harrison is well positioned. No problem. We'll send it down in between the wing and fullback. Big chase here from Abby Dow. Just gets up there as Tremoulière gets down on it. Looks to clear to the touchline. But has skipped very nicely.
It does. It wasn't the most beautiful of kicks, was it? But it served a good purpose in the end.
Sharp team.
Not a great box kick from Sansus originally.
Middle.
And England back in with possession, aren't they? Back in with another solid platform.
Cockayne goes to the front. Sarah Hunter down for Natasha Hunt. Katie Daly-McLean on the wraparound from Harrison. Then the miss pass. Abby Dow was asking for it. Has to just track back to field the pass. Solid French defence. Hunt. Daly-McLean. Short ball for Beckett. Hunt again. Sarah Byrne is offering herself. Byrne dummies the pass and gets going on her bike, takes the contact, makes England a few metres over the gain line. Daly-McLean now with a little dink in behind. It's going to carry just to the touchline nicely to give France a line out on their 22.
Daly-McLean spotted some space, didn't she, behind the back line there.
Could see Natasha Hunt out after half-time, of course, having taken the blow. A bloodied nose for her troubles. Leanne Riley, of course, is the one standing by.
You're on the line.
We saw plenty of France inside their own half in the first half. Certainly in the first quarter, where England was so dominant, scoring those early 2 tries. If you are just joining us, first try scored by Abby Dow. Then we had Vicky Fleetwood from the catch and drive. Sansus, fierce competitor, earning her 13th cap for France. Fire it deeper for Tremoulière. Puts a good boot through it, but this is just an invitation for someone like Sarah McKenna, who is trying to call the shots as she gets the run on and then finds Scarrett. But Boujard was well positioned to line up. England's outside centre. Beckett on the shoulder. Does she take out a player? It's then given away to Sarah Byrne. England not going to stop to ask the question. Sarah Byrne all the way to the line. You can hear the question mark in the whistle. And now the try is given. The reaction will come. No doubt about that. Sarah Beckett was the dummy runner. The question is whether she took a defender out or whether the defender just bought the run.
I mean, obviously we'll go back to look, but following that, a great run from Ben, great footwork from the front row forward as well, wasn't it? The crowd don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure this one's going to stand.
No, it's not, is it?
Well, we knew at the time, didn't we? Sarah Byrne was happy to continue. The crowd are already cheering before we've even had the result.
They knew, didn't they?
You've never seen a stadium happier to see a referee perform the televisual mime on the field. It's obstruction. Agathe Sochat given no chance to make the tackle on Natasha Hunt due to Sarah Beckett's line.
No try. She wasn't in a realistic position to receive the ball, so it's obstruction straight away. Yeah, so on the screen it was just over the 10. Yep. Simon, you happy with this mark?
Brilliant captaincy from Sarah Hunter, constantly asking questions of referee Amy Barrett-Theron. Was she not in a position to receive the pass? Was the tackler going to make the tackle on the player? Are you sure this is the right mark? It's constant harrying to make sure that she doesn't get put on the back foot.
It is, but there's got to be a balance. There can't be too much, Nick, because sometimes it can be too much chat that can be detrimental. And Sarah Hunter's learned her trade pretty well, I think, as captain, and she keeps on the referee, but she gets that balance right.
Yes, the middle, Sarah.
She's a well-liked captain by referees.
Yes, numbers Yes.
France taking a little bit of time to get their numbers in here, and England are showing a sense of frustration with that. So they go to the back, it's down through fault. Or in fact, France making the replacements now. Juliannery is onto the field, and the familiar form of one Safi Ndiaye as well. Sansus looking to try and cause some problems around the fringes of the breakdown. Gets it away to Anaël Dahaye. Sarah Byrne trying to rip it away. Sansus. Look at her go. She's ferret-like around the fringes. Ménager. 8-on-8 tackle from Sarah Hunter. Pick from Hermé. Well put down by England again. Beckett that time. Sansus. Allez les Bleus rings around once more. Dahaye. Wheel to the ground from Bottoman. Ndiaye wants it. Oh, and the offload from the replacement was not of her standards. England one quick ball. McKenna wants to ship it. And England showing almost a bit of French flair to try and attack out of their own 22 here. From Scarrett to Dow. Advantage is over. Harrison relied upon for the clearance. Little backtrack from Tremoulière. No touchline found. So the fullback will run it on. Left hand offload. Goes backwards to ground. France need to tidy this up here. England putting plenty of pressure. Counter ruck is fine. But then the touch judge's flag goes up on the far side. England will have the line out though. Plenty going on, Kat Spencer.
There really is, isn't there? Just look, Cornber actually just coming on. She is now coming on for a 50th cap. But yeah, France had built that up really well, hadn't they? We saw the impact of Ndiaye onto the pitch as well. But just another French error, just creeping back in again. Bottoman is not the crowd's favourite today by the sounds.
She's wearing a white shirt, I think that'll be the reason. Luck Davis onto the field then. And Vicky Cornber as well. Fleetwood, good break and good leg drive, accompanied by her teammates. Flat ball for Scarrett to run onto. Lovely offload as Condé drives Scarrett through, but she no longer had the ball. France trying to counter-ruck here with Camille Boudot. It's there for Hunt. Katie Daly-McLean. High one for Cornber to take. She's done well in the circumstances. Katie Daly-McLean, late release for Scarrett out the back. Then the offload, Fleetwood, well met. Good hit from Annery. 10-metre line in the French half. Back they come, Sarah Byrne was just looking to try and find Cornber, but the French tackle was smothered enough to avoid that offload. Katie Daly-McLean, that's not worked out for the England fly half. France will have possession. Sansus, Ndiaye making those close offloads and then manages to get it back, but she's making one or two of those offloads where nobody's there. But who is there? Laure Sansus tries to put the kick through. The ball bounces up. Harrison has dealt with it well. Breach was scurrying back. And it's a penalty to England. France coming straight in at the side. The home fans don't like it.
I think the crowd are referring to this tackle. Was it late? We're seeing that in slow motion, aren't we? He's sort of already committed to the tackle. It would have been difficult for McKenna to pull out of that one, but great bait before from Sansus, wasn't it? She's so elusive. Really keep an eye on her.
Well, if anything, McKenna's just had to help the contact to the ground, really, rather than making the hit.
Get a real quick ball.
Okay.
Beat them around the corner.
Yeah.
They're just slowing us down a bit.
I got you.
They're clever, but something for me.
You play on the grey side of the game. That's fine. Just be careful.
Just having a little listen to Natasha Hunt having a conversation with our referee, suggesting that France are loitering around the fringes. This was lovely interplay. Safi Ndiaye has perhaps been a little guilty of overplaying those offloads from the moment she's come on, but we worked out as Sansus made the break. Jess Breach came herring back for that, but it bounced right back over her head.
NDI, I'm sure, is going to want to put her hand up for a starting shirt for next week. I can't imagine she's enjoying being on the bench for this one. She's got an opportunity now, hasn't she? But that's the second time France have been in England 22. Second time they've made an error, given away a penalty.
Certainly sense it is one of those games where opportunities need to be taken. France making changes. Marine Ménager is onto the field for Cyrielle Banet. And we also have Lise Aricast leaving the field after earning her 70th cap and replaced by Maëlys Traoré. Davis then for Hunter. Spot on with the arrows. England engaging in them all. English machinery is rolling very nicely upfield here. Natasha Hunt trying to get it away, then just turns, senses the opportunity of the half break. Aldcroft will get in. Hunter had to step back against the tackle of NDI. Harrison. That was a little loose. Oh, and it's gone through the legs as well, and France might be able to capitalise on this. Straight in. Bourdon is there. Now it's away. Reversing positions there. Bourdon to Sansus. Sansus now gets back in. Bourdon at times almost having to remember that she's playing fly half here rather than scrum half.
No, tackle needs to go first.
Back out she goes. Ménager of the Roman variety. Was on that World Rugby Player of the Year shortlist a couple of years ago. Oh, then Boudot, lovely work to then try and find Annery.
Not on the ball.
It's another visit into England's 22. Can France find the ability to break through and knock off it up? NDI with the carry. That's a bit more like it. Sansus, Bourdon, Ménager looks to get low. Poppy Cleal in with the double tackle. Sansus again, replacement Traoré on her shoulder. Gaëlle Hermé, the skipper, wants it to the left, and that's where it will go. NDI accompanied nicely. Socha that time. Ménager. Sansus looks to the left side, then Boudot. Starting to grow into the game a little bit more on her 12th cap, Camille Boudot. Sansus having a look herself. Bourdon. Bourdon. Hermé. England now stretched here and having to make last-ditch tackles as the French become unpredictable on the line. Boudot, it's loose. Bouchard unable to just get away. Tackle was in from Breach. My goodness me. Sansus. Back in for Socha, gets it away for NDI, over the top. Has it gone forwards in there? Oh, it's gone backwards, and England have it. Scarrett, right boot, thumps it away to that right-hand touchline. That is brilliant from England's vice-captain, and everybody can take a breath.
Just about to say that, Nick. Haven't taken a breath for the last few minutes. Bouchard did really well to pick that ball up then, but that's the third time now, Nick, France in the England 22. England managed to get the ball away again.
Well, you have to hand it to England's defence ultimately, don't you? Of course, French having to look for something a little bit more imaginative, something a bit more spontaneous to try and get through with the white wall, doing a decent enough job. And they were making yards. The French stuck to the process. Maybe they might have got over, but just a few players in there, the likes of Sansus, likes of Bourdon, NDI, looking to try and create something, and, well, perhaps that forcing the error. Thought Bourdon was going to get through then.
I did. Lovely footwork. She's such a great player, and used to playing in that 9 position as well. She's really dangerous in those close quarter areas.
course, as this game remains tight, you look at those moments that teams visit the 22, and de France start to look at, well, anything else, such as a drop goal. Look at that little three-pointer to try and get their noses in front and inflict that psychological blow.
England generally are quite a well-disciplined team, so they're not the kind of team you're going to play against. Just think we'll keep hold of possession and we'll get a penalty. It's not something that's very likely against this England team.
Come back on.
Caroline Boujard just stretching and feeling a couple of bits and pieces, but head guard is back on. France line out, Hermé once again. Then away for Traoré. Saw a gap, wanted to exploit it. Brilliant clear out from Sarah Byrne. Poppy Cleal is just waited to try and free herself. Boudot. Good intelligence to hold on to that, but it's just gone forwards on the ground as she tried to hold on to possession. England will be grateful and will have the scrum.
Another error as France were going forward, wasn't it? And you could feel they really want to play this game with that high tempo, which just gets slightly frenetic, and NDI slightly getting in the way there.
Katie Daly-McLean using all her strength as that tackle went to ground. But now England are going to bring on a couple of players. It's going to be Natasha Hunt's last contribution. Leanne Riley onto the field. And Zoe Harrison making way for Amber Reid.
Amber Reid, very calm, cool, collected player, good distributor as well. Very good in defence, will bring a calmness onto this pitch. She's had her injury problems as well. Good boot as well on Amber Reid. Just helps perhaps take a little bit of pressure off Katie McLean.
Well, you can see Simon Middleton looking to make sure that as well, we're 18 months away from that World Cup in New Zealand 2021. He wants to make sure he's got a couple of playmakers, people that can fit into that fly half shirt. Katie Daly-McLean isn't going anywhere fast, but obviously injuries can happen, like to Zoe Harrison, very much in the frame. But Amber Reid also, another player who is very adept at the boot, and they've got the likes of Emily Scott on the bench as well, who is prided upon for her versatility.
Okay, a lot of new people, new
Amber Reid, of course, another one of those Rugby World Cup winners from 2014. On to earn her 54th cap.
Come a bit closer, guys. Let's go,
Leanne Riley, well, she'll know all about the French, as former England captain Kath Spencer referenced earlier. Riley with 2 of the starts against the French in November. And the Harlequins scrum half on for cap number 35 herself. So with these changes, how will it affect the power at the scrum? Well, England haven't been able to hook that back. It comes back on the French side. It's not the tidiest ball on the floor, though. England might have been able to get that back. Indeed, they have. Riley for Reid. Scarrett. Wants to go over the head of Ménager. Marine has Tremoulière on her right. Almost runs into her own teammate. England put the tackle in. Sarah Byrne rolls her way out of it. Bourdon for Tremoulière. Well, Emily Scarrett was signalling that we might have to go back because it went out on the full, but it bounced just inside. It was inch perfect from the French fullback.
Scrum was a bit scrappy, wasn't it? Both front rows actually coming up in the middle of that scrum. So much pressure going through there as they're fighting for dominance in that scrum. Tremoulière, well-positioned kick that was, wasn't it? Scarrett telepathically trying to urge the ball out.
Allcroft with the carry. Riley, did that go forwards? No, backwards, says the referee. Byrne appearing in that midfield. She loves broken play, Sarah Byrne. Riley goes deeper. McKenna. Cleal had to reach to get that. There have been a couple of those for Poppy Cleal, testing the old hammies. England on possession again. Lovely offload for Fleetwood from Allcroft. And England come again. Riley on the shoulder. Wants to try and get it away, but Tremoulière was aware that that was the threat, needed to wrap her up in the tackle and just slow England down momentarily. Daly McLean, Hunter, you know exactly what she'll do. Give you go forwards and a platform. Game is breaking up a bit now. Beckett, tackled by Traore. Riley, back in field, not much of a backline had set up there by England, but Cornborough happy to offer herself on the carry. The rip from France, it went backwards off France, did it? No, it's a knock-on from England through the rip. And I think we've got another change happening for France. Caroline Thomas is going to come on for Agathe Socha. Coming up to a quarter of the game, sorry, the third quarter of the game going, and well, we've not had any scores really for a good 20 minutes or so. Incident-filled first half, and we are in very much an arm wrestle now.
We really are, aren't we? And the intensity from both teams, forcing the mistakes. With 3 nearly tries or 3 nearly opportunities from France. Haven't been able to capitalise on that. England scrambling in defence.
Yeah, both of you went down on that side. Come closer, guys. It'll make your job easier. Let's go, England.
Might be one of the last scrums for Vicky Fleetwood to be involved with. One of England's uncapped players in the squad, Amelia Harper, in the 23 today, and she's waiting to take her opportunity down on the touchline. Big shove from the French pack, and Sansus doesn't want the ball anytime soon. Encourages them to go forward with the penalty advantage. Bourdon, little switch with Boudot in the middle, up to the halfway line. Sansus, Bourdon, gone for a kick pass for Boujard. Isolated against Emily Scarrett, that's nicely worked. Through the tackle to offload for Tremoulière. Sansus, Bourdon, NDI, steps back, gets the offload away, that's nice for Thomas. France come again, Sansus reaching out desperately to hold on to it. But McKenna fields the knock-on and in the advantage clears it downfield. 15 on 15 here as Tremoulière goes back to try and take it. McKenna follows up with a tackle, and Jess Breach wants to try and get the French fullback into touch, and she's managed it too. Applauded by Vicky Fleetwood, who's been putting in quite the shift.
She has, Fleetwood. She's not the massive ball carrier that many of the England forwards are, but she's done a lot of work, hasn't she, today?
She's had a few key carries, hasn't she? But she is always everywhere, involved in everything, adding her weight to things, and she's such a savvy operator herself. And just comes off the field down below us. Amelia Harper makes her debut for England, the Loughborough Lightning back rower.
For me, very close.
Speaking to Simon Middleton during the week, if he'd have had to start Harper, he was more than happy to.
You have to be, don't you? If you've got them in the squad, you've got to be prepared, happy to start at the beginning. And what a moment, your first cap in a stadia like this. 10-12 down ahead in France. It's a massive moment for Amelia Harper.
Clara Joyeux coming into the fray for France, just 21 years of age. Anaël Dye makes way. Joyeux started that game in Sandy Park for France. Katie Daly-McLean now for England. Amber Reid, oh, the lovely offload for Emily Scarrett. And Scarrett's trying to scream all the way to the line, and she will. What a score from England. Amber Reid and Emily Scarrett combining. My goodness me.
Lovely clean ball from the line out. But what an absolutely fantastic offload from Amber Reid. Takes 2-3 players out, and Emily Scarrett just direct running. Boujard doing her best to get to her. Determination on her face.
Champion, thank you.
Vintage Red Roses stuff, isn't it? Reid to Scarrett. And England with the breakthrough in the second half to put a little bit more daylight between themselves and the hosts.
And it does, and you have to say it's a little bit against the run of play. You know, France been really building it. Just those errors again, wasn't it? And they've let England off, and now England have taken the opportunity, and sometimes that's the difference between teams, isn't it? Who can take their opportunities?
If it means I can run like her, that's cool.
Scott Beeman can have a big smile on his face on the touchline after that. Scarrett to convert her own try. No problem at all. France 10, England 19 now then. And is that enough to start causing France to look inwardly and wonder if it's going to be their day? Look at the reaction from the bench.
Most of them. Emily Scott's looking very serious.
Well, she is yet to enter the fray, of course. The others, their work is done. Tremoulière. Cleal. Nicely taken. Boudot with the tackle. Riley. Reid in at first receiver from the scrum half. Now it's back for Scarrett. So difficult to know where the threat's going to come from with the boot. Momentarily there, you had Katie Daly-McLean, Amber Reid on one side and Emily Scarrett on the other. France run it back through Ménager, then the offload into the hands of Tremoulière. Relatively slight of frame, but still make 3 or 4 yards with 3 England players round her ankles. NDI, big carry straight through Harper. Welcome to international rugby. Bourdon, little pump, back into contact. Sansus, reverse back inside, Traoré calling for it. There's no scrum half here. England counter-ruck, sensing that chance. Ménager gets in there, Bourdon, Boudot, NDI, Boujard. Never quite gathered it fully. It's a knock-on, and England will be delighted.
Breach covered that really well. We haven't seen much for an attack today, have we? The ball's not going over to that side, but what she's needed to do defence, she has done.
The brains trust Annie Guéraud, Samuel Charouk watching on. 15 minutes or so to try and get the way back up that scoreboard, France. For England, well, the win is, of course, the first priority. But they've got 3 tries. Could go in search of that 4th try and a bonus point. Should be pretty decent work for an afternoon in France in the Women's Six Nations.
Poppy Cleal just getting a bit of attention at the moment. She's had to work hard today, hasn't she?
Yeah, continuing in the second row.
In the engine room. How are France, how are the French team going to react to this? How are the crowd going to react? They're going to need them to lift them again, aren't they? They really fed off that in the first half.
So change now made for France. Morgane Perronnet comes onto the field and Laure Sansus will make way, which allows Pauline Bourdon to slip into the 9 role once more.
So I'll go as loud as I can. Yeah.
Sure, Sansus will be wishing she was leaving the pitch with a slightly different scoreline, but she's had a pretty decent 60 minutes in this test, hasn't she? Such an exciting player.
Absolutely. It's got to be a tough call for a head coach to make when you can see your player playing so well, but also knowing that fatigue is going to be part of the picture as well. Bring on 27-year-old Morgane Perronnet, Montpellier. Ball's in from Riley. There's already been a fair bit of movement on the scrum. The French get a shove on, and they don't like the fact that they're not getting a penalty.
They got one penalty from the scrum, didn't they, earlier on in the game?
Pauline Bourdon is signalling with a wry smile on her face to Joy Neville on the near side.
So forcing Sarah Byrne to come up in that scrum.
Second time in not so long that we've seen Sarah Beckett just fall off that side as the scrum hasn't quite worked.
Yeah.
Managed to, well, accidentally, but helpfully secure possession for England the last time. But England will be feeling this. French will do everything they can right now to get closer to that England try line, whether they've got possession or not. Trying to drive England off this scrum is priority number one.
Stop it. Stop it. Guys, hey.
Well, Sarah Byrne and Maëlys Traoré are going to get to know each other a little bit more here.
Ladies, we're wasting far too much time at the scrum. There's too many resets. There's too many push and pulls. Stop that. Listen to my call, okay? On the crouch, you crouch. On the bind, you bind. That's all. Stability from the start. Thank you.
Well, Amy Barak-Taron not paying too much respect to the French language there, is she? Let's hope that Gaëlle Hermé and Maëlys Traoré were able to decipher that.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Riley, big shove again from France. England have got to use it, but it is going to be the penalty to the home side. Just what the doctor ordered.
There were worries about the scrum for England before this test, and obviously they were justified. French pack so strong. Their changes have just added to their scrum, haven't they?
Safi Ndiaye is leading the conversation in the huddle along with Ménager. Hermé as well. Real experience there. Safi Ndiaye, 71 caps before today.
Ndiaye got her first cap way back in 2012, I think. She's vastly experienced, isn't she?
Yeah, Six Nations it was. She calls her best memory in rugby her first win at Twickenham.
Guys, you have time to set. You have two here. One needs to go back, okay?
Huge moments, this. France in and down. They bind on fast. Ndiaye is in there. And they want to ask questions of England up front. They get the rumble on. 5 metres to go now. What answer to it do England have? Still they go forward. Where's the ball? Bourdon is having a look. Penalty advantage now being played. They've got a shot to nothing here, France, knowing the penalty's coming. Traoré. Hermé. Looking for the low body position. Bourdon once more. The late arrival to try and put some more tempo through it from Boudot. 2 metres now. Bourdon. Poppy Cleal is coming round. Bourdon again. Ndiaye tries to use a little bit of footwork. Bourdon impatiently calling her players around the corner. That's where she wants them to be. Traoré helped on by Joyeux. Harper brought out of it. They go again. Little pump of the ball from Ndiaye. That's how close France are. They need this score so desperately. Another penalty advantage signalled by Bourdon. Bourdon goes for the kick across. Nothing coming from it. And now we will have a pause. France have the penalty coming.
Captain, you've got 2 penalties, one for not rolling, or one for side entry and collapsing. Or one here, or do you want there?
Conversation now from Hermé. What do they want? 2 penalty positions. Do they want this one or the one on the far side? Or the near side as we watch on.
Penalty. You want the scrum?
Yeah.
Okay.
France call the scrum, and you have to say, Cass Spencer, that's the right option.
They've called scrum.
I think it is, yeah, 11 minutes to go. You could argue that they could go to the post and get within a score, but their scrum has been so powerful, so dominant. See if they can drive over from this 5-metre line, and that penalty arising, I think it was Abby Dow that just found herself in the wrong place of the ruck, not being able to come out. But yeah, they've got to use this attacking weapon.
Ultimately, if they get a decent shove on here and England haven't got an answer to it, there may only be one result for the referee.
It could be yellow card territory, couldn't it?
Yeah, penalty try option and an instant 7 points.
Absolutely.
It's hanging in the balance in the shadow of the Pyrenees. France 2 scores behind with 10 minutes to play. I didn't need that espresso at half-time, I can tell you that. To the back, they've got to control this well. There's a penalty advantage already being played. Bourdon, she's lost it. Will come back again.
Number one, in on the angle. Number one, in on the angle, on the set. So,
Vicky Cornborough is under the referee's microscope.
Surely they have to go to scrum again.
It's got to be the call, yeah. Bourdon wasting no time.
You don't hear louder.
Well, what a lovely sign of the supported French rugby. Gaël Omé has just had to tell the referee, I can't even hear you when you're giving the call. Such is the noise from the home fans. England at risk here. They try and get the shove. France once more. Referee says they've got to play it. Ball is out, no penalty this time. Omé. Bourdon looks. NDI wants it. Katie Daly-McLean goes in to try and spoil. Oh, that is brilliant from England's fly half. Oh, my goodness me. Leanne Riley now with a chance to send it away for Sarah Hunter to set up the platform. But this has all come from Katie Daly-McLean. Riley for Reid to clear. Charge down. Play on, says our referee. France needing some attention off the ball as well. But again, the requirement to clear. Daly-McLean is now the one back in the pocket to make the clearance. And France will have the line out.
Absolutely edge of your seat stuff, isn't it, Nick? And
time off.
the excitement, the tension around this pitch, around this stadium.
Not long to go.
You feel that France have to score now down there in the 22. 5 times now, 6 times now they've been down there and haven't scored.
It was all about the turnover from Katie Daly-McLean. Recognised an opportunity to just get straight in and over the ball.
Really brave play, wasn't it, from Daly-McLean? For Lani, I think. There've been some huge hits, haven't there, coming in from the French team.
The more the clock continues to tick, the more England will feel that victory is going to be theirs, given the fact that the French need 2 scores. They're outside a losing bonus point as well, currently, of course, as well.
Yeah.
About the scrum.
Of course, yeah.
So before the game, obviously, we spoke about
Sarah Hunter just having a word with the referee.
And just feels to us like that's what they're doing.
Yeah. So for me, my issue is on the other side.
Yeah.
Your Lucette and the attack that they're both collapsing in.
Okay.
So Piers got this side. that. We'll have a look out for that, that they're stepping out of it. But the trigger before I even get to that is
A few little highlights of the game so far from our French production partners. Some running repairs for Audrey Folani.
Good. Yeah, no to the front, no to the front. Time back on.
Right, sharp intake of breath, everybody. We go again. Nicely in for Annery. Ships it down. Boudot. Bourdon. Might need to speed up the service given the clock's running down here. Oh, now then. Bit of an unforced error really from France. And it's another spurned opportunity in the 22.
It's becoming a familiar story, isn't it, in this section of the game?
Traore just seeing the white wall advancing in front of her. And a great moment now for England as Poppy Cleall makes way. But it's a wonderful sight to see the return of Harriet Miller-Mills, 22 months out of the game with injury. 3 knee surgeries over that time as well. Coming on to and cap number 52. Really grew into her role with England just as well, things were paused through injury. Great to see her back, Cass.
She really did. She was on absolutely fantastic form before she got injured. As you say, a long break out of the game for her. It's fantastic to see her back in an England shirt.
Oh, but England are penalised at the scrum once again. Whether it's on their put-in or not. Now, you would think from this position, it's time to go for post, would you not?
I think so, Nick. They've got to get within that try score, haven't they? You know, they've gone for it. They haven't got over the line. I think they have to go to pace. It looks like that's what they're doing.
Well, it also gets them a losing bonus, doesn't it? Gets them to within 7.
It does, but they'll be thinking, look, we get in within a try. You know, they're going for the win still.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, she's right back. Even be a grabber.
Tremoulier to add 3 points to her tally and get France within 6. Job done.
And what a last 5 minutes we're in store for now, Nick, hey?
Batten down the hatches. England's game management is about to be sorely tested to get this result over the line. And of course, as we mentioned, they've got the opportunity to go with that 4th try and a bonus point. France just need to get down the other end. Tremoulier opts to run it back. Bourdon goes short side. Offload back in field. Back to the scrum half now. Oh, Perronnet, that's really nice. Offload, but England can sense the touchline there. France keep it in field just enough. England committed a fair amount of players to try and get them into touch there, so we're just momentary a bit light in field. If France could get some width on this, England will have some work to do. It's Jess Breach against about 4 currently as they just start to fan out now. It's there for Condé. Into things early on for Gabby Vernier when she had the HIA after just a few minutes. England again looking for the touchline. That time it works. 4 minutes to go, England line out. Pauline Bourdon down with a bit of cramp.
Again, Jess Breach doing her job defensively. Katie Daly-McLean again there. Sarah Byrne coming across France will need Bourdon to be okay. Kind of don't really want this game to end, do you, Nick?
There is that feeling.
I'm sure the players might do. They're probably a little tired, fatigued bodies out there, but it's so enthralling at the moment.
Lovely being sat up here in the shade, isn't it?
It's very nice, Nick. It's lovely. Got a cup of tea by my side.
Such a titanic contest. It has lived up to the billing. This is what the Women's Six Nations is all about. Rivalry as old as the hills. Lark Davis to get the arrows right, goes for Hunter at the top. No problem with that. Transferred to the support players, and England will just hold on to this as much as they can. It's with Sarah Hunter. And transferred to Miller Mills. France want to try and use the touchline themselves. Bourdon is in there. Where's the ball? It's there for Riley. Sarah Beckett still carrying for England. Beckett, she's been immense. Cornborough. England with a bit of front foot ball. Haven't seen too much of that in the last little while. Then Miller Mills.
Not on the ball.
2.5 to play. Hunter. England would love the chance to break free and get a fourth try. It's that switch again between Daly McLean and Scarrett. The French saw it coming on that occasion. Riley. Allcroft told Riley to go back to the right. She looked to the right and Daly McLean pointed to go back to the left. Neither side wanted it. The lungs are burning out there and no mistake. Beckett. Allcroft ready to offer herself once more. Summons up a last bit of energy to make the carry. France go in to try and force the turnover. Bourdon part of it, but Riley's tidied it up well. England just relying on the clock now to get them over the line. Riley, Miller Mills, Davis and Hunter provide the protection. Riley again. She could have got quick ball there. France were a little short-staffed over on the far side, but they do get it away now. Reed. Perfectly unafraid to take the direct route, Amber Reed. Riley again. Allcroft. Harper in support. This is really good keep ball from England. Beckett once more. Might not be the prettiest, but to get the victory over the line, England know what they need to do. Have France got in a position to turn this over? Not sure whether they have or not. It's there for England, and they're in no rush.
England have practiced these scenarios all the time, Nick. Very much in control at the moment, aren't they?
Riley, Daly McLean, Scarrett. Was there a suggestion of a bit of obstruction in midfield? Either way, France will drive England back. They won't be too worried as long as they keep possession, which they do. Riley, Daly McLean. Little ball inside for Harper. The band are giving it all they've got, but the clock is ticking towards the 80. Sarah Hunter with the carry. Time is up. Riley fires it back for Katie Daly McLean, who boots it into the stand for